The water spider. One summer evening, a man living in Oshu went fishing in a pond at Handayama. He caught many fish and his basket was full up to the brim. To cool himself, the man soaked his bare feet in the pond. Suddenly, a water spider came out of the pond and fastened his thread onto the man's big toe. The spider went into the pond and came out again. He now fastened another thread on the same place. The man found it quite strange. He carefully unfastened the thread from his toe and tied it around the willow stump beside him. Suddenly, someone screamed from the bottom of the pond, "Jera and Sero, and the rest of you, come here." The man was amazed. All the fish from his basket leapt out and went back in the pond. And right before his eyes, the spider's thread was pulled and the thick stump broke off. From then on, no one went fishing in that pond. The Yaroka Flood. Once upon a time, in the village of Ibori in Owari, there was a heavy downpour. As a result, the Kiso River rose higher and higher. The villagers were scared that the barriers might break. So they set up a watch by the flood. One night, a voice called out from the depths of Mino no Ikiyama on the opposite bank. It said, "Yaroka, Yaroka." The villagers could not understand it and found it really strange. They did not know what to do and just stared at each other. The voice kept on calling, "Yaroka, Yaroka." Finally, one of the villagers instinctively shouted, "If you are going to let go, let go." The moment he said this, a great wall of water came rushing through. The fields everywhere were covered by the flood. The villagers were shocked and did not know what to do. Even at present, that flood is spoken of as the Yaroka Flood. Goshinro Pond. Once upon a time, in the village of Yawata in Higo province, there was an old pond near the stream. It was decided that the pond needed to be drained and the fish taken out. Finally, the day arrived, and at early morning, all the villagers gathered and started dipping the water out. They kept working throughout the day, but still could not empty the pond. The sun began to set. The villagers thought that they had almost reached the bottom. All of a sudden, a man, such as they had never seen before, rose up out of the pond. The villagers were frightened. "You've all been to great trouble," said the man, and he disappeared. The water then rose back up to the brim of the pond. From then on, the pond had been called Goshinro, and nobody tried to catch fish in it. The Yamachi. Once upon a time, there lived a cooper in a certain village of Japan. One morning, when he went out to work, he saw that it had snowed. Suddenly, a frightful monster with only one eye and one leg appeared in front of him. Looking at him, the cooper thought, "This must be Yamachi, which I have heard about in stories." The monster at once said, "You are thinking I must be Yamachi, aren't you?" The cooper thought, "How terrible! He observes right away what I think." Then the monster said, "Say, Cooper, you think it is terrible because I observe right away what you think, don't you?" Whatever the cooper thought was observed until he was confused. But the cooper kept working. Suddenly, his frozen hands slipped. The bamboo hoop that was lying in front of him sprang out and slapped Yamachi in the face. Yamachi was surprised. "These human beings are dangerous," he thought, and went back to the mountain. Thanks for watching. Do like, share, subscribe to Sahil Book House.